planet Amadeo. At that moment, a great shudder took place on the planet of Amadeo. After seeing that 3 souls had arrived on the planet of the dead, Amadeo says, "What strange thing is going on here? It seems that I am seeing extremely high power being emanated. But how could 2 beings like you be killed?" At that moment, Vermoth, the god of destruction from Universe 11, and Liquid, the god of destruction from Universe 2 appear. Furious, Liquid says, "I was defeated by Son Goku, the mortal of Universe 7. But this mortal is totally different from when I saw him in the Tournament of Power. He was more worthless, fighting without thinking about the consequences and even less fearing a god. The skills he was showing, it seems that not even the warriors who had been training for millennia would be able to reach that level of strength. What is happening behind of this warrior? It seems now that he's fighting more angrily for the gods, as if the gods have done something to him. He simply walked into my universe and attacked me, and killed me. It seems that Son Goku has totally different thoughts and he wants to become a supreme being among all. And what's strange to me was that he said that Zeno-sama himself authorized him to do that mass destruction directly in his universe. So does that mean that everything that was happening has Zeno-sama's consent? Perhaps we should reflect which supreme god we would accept, since the great priest himself also decided this. As far as I know, to be chosen gods of destruction, we went through hard training, and now there are the god killers, all the famous god killers, and Goku became one of them? Does that mean that all of this would be necessary to bring about balance? At that moment, Vermoth says, "My gods didn't work on him. Those powers were totally different and beyond imagination that I could imagine. That Goku, this Goku is definitely not from this timeline. Because this mortal was extremely weak compared to a god of destruction when we saw him in a tournament of power. Now he appears here in extremely high powers, showing a level that no one has ever imagined. What is Beerus doing in the face of all this?" At that moment of the kingdom of the Makaioshins, Beerus had finished the fight against everyone in the Makai Kingdom tournament. Haki, the god of destruction that had appeared in the Makai realm, withdrew and told Beerus that they would soon meet. Beerus says, "If that's everything that ended up happening here made me even stronger, my Hakai forms seem to keep getting bigger. I think I have unfinished business. It's time to head back to Universe 7. Hey, how's it going? Just here to remind you to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss any videos, and stay well inside our entire universe of Dragon Ball. Without further ado, let's go back to the point. At that moment, a great battle was about to take place. Goku was next to Vados and Margarita. Margarita says, "I need to regain my powers soon so I can do whatever I want." Vados looks on and says, "Why are you here with us? I cannot understand." Margarita laughs and responds, "I'm here just like you, my dear sister. Don't think it's just because of Mr. Goku. But my universe's god of destruction ended up ceasing to exist. So if I want, I can create the reality that is most interesting to me, and very well, I can also want to travel and roam whenever I want, since I have no more link with Universe 11 until a new god is undoing." At that moment, Goku starts to observe and says, "What? A new god of destruction? It makes no sense. I finished with your universe god of destruction." Vado smiles and says, "Well, I think it wasn't clear what was going on, Mr. Goku. Maybe it's time for you to discover the truth behind it all." Goku begins to observe and tries to understand. "Miss Vados, please explain to me better." At this moment, Vado says, "Well, you did kill Champa and soon after Liquid and Vermoth. They probably ceased to exist, or the souls of the gods of destruction were sent to other unknown planets. But what's always happens when the god of destruction is destroyed? Well, the balance starts to be undone. Since you are a god killer, your energy may be bringing a balance right now in this universe, but soon everything will start to change. That's why Zeno-sama needs to choose other gods of destruction. With that many things that can still happen, can you understand the gravity of all this, Mr. Goku?" Goku starts watching and speaks. So does that mean this will never end? Damn it. I can't believe so I'll always have to get stronger to finish off different gods of destruction. Margarita starts laughing and says,
But of course, Mr. Goku, because always a god of destruction is stronger than the other one is reborn. There are extremely powerful beings, and those mortals who are considered mortals with powers that can match the gods are those who will want to raise their energy even more. And I believe that many things can still change. But that would all depend on who will show their greater power. Zeno-sama and the Great Priest will continue to make their own decisions, so there are many things that we'll end up seeing that we cannot know exactly what will happen. But you can trust us, Mr. Goku. If you stay here with us, we'll know the best decision we can make.
At that moment, Goku starts to try to understand and says, But this doesn't make any sense. I really need to get stronger, but I think there's a place where I want to ask some questions. Margarita speaks.
What are you saying?
Goku says, It means that this information was brought because you know the gods of destruction and angels. But in this case, this was a rule created directly by Zeno-sama, right? So I think I already know how to do things differently. If I gather the Super Dragon Balls of this universe, I would be able to ask Super Sarah to change the rules of celestial gods. Isn't that true? At that moment, Vados and Margarita are amazed at the decision that Goku had taken. I'm sure this will help me resolve the timeline situation. Vados starts to think. It seems that something is making Lord Goku's head become more and more negative in questions of the gods. If he actually gathers the Super Dragon Balls and tries to do something like this, he might not only end the rule of the gods, but actually become the supreme god of everything.
Lord Goku, how far will your limit be?
Goku's smile breaks across his face. Goku watches everything and says, Now we get started. The first Super Dragon Ball is in Universe 6. Hit and all the other Universe 6 warriors are there. They didn't care that I defeated Champa, but maybe they won't accept the quest for the Super Dragon Balls. This will be a little more complicated than I thought. The challenge is out! Goku God Killer alongside Vados and Margarita goes back to Universe 6 in search of the Super Dragon Balls. Margarita says,
Mr. Goku, maybe that thought is a little wrong. If you do that right now, something's gonna happen in a way that maybe is not so foreseen at this moment.
Goku observes and says, What do you mean by that, Margarita? Vados interrupts and speaks.
Do you really want to gather the Super Dragon Balls so that you can change a heavenly decision that was created by the one who is supreme being of all, Zeno-sama? Zeno-sama at the moment trusts you, Sir Goku. Besides the Great Priest, if you think of doing something and gathering the Super Dragon Balls and the two find out what is happening, they would definitely want to turn against you and want to end it all, causing you to get into big trouble or maybe being eradicated. After all, Zeno-sama's spells or powers work extremely well against a God Killer. If you make any wrong step, it can't be destroyed.
Goku watches and says, Then what do you expect me to do, huh? The evils of the gods keep happening, and if we wipe out these gods, it could be resolved. But according to all these happenings, as soon as a god of destruction is destroyed, another new god of destruction appears to want to bring the balance. So this ends up making no sense. Goku tries to understand several points that have been taking place. Goku asks for Vados. What do we do then? Vados responds.
The smartest thing would be to acquire the trust of the gods of destruction, or rather, that of Zeno-sama. If you take out the gods of destruction the way he's asking, the new gods of destruction will try to start keeping the balance any way you choose. That way, you could enter into an agreement with Zeno-sama, being the true God Killer, that if any of them stepped out of line, you would take care of the whole situation. It would be a smarter way. It would be a smarter way, because any mistakes you made could be erased. What do you think about this?
Goku starts laughing, at the same time gets serious and says, I think I'm starting to understand, Vados. Goku had his understandings of what to do next to Margarita and Vados. At that moment, directly in Universe 7, Beerus arrives at his homeland. Beerus notes that the energy of other gods of destruction had been erased, and at the same time, Beerus goes to his planet of destruction and sees Whis. Beerus asks, "What's going on here, Whis? I feel that the energy of others... What's going on here, Whis? I feel that the energy of several other gods of destruction ended up being erased, and with that, big problems could be created. I can't really understand what's going on. Looks like Goku ended up boosting his powers even further with that weird God Killer transformation." Whis responds, "Oh, Lord Beerus, how long while you were away, many problems appeared around here. Even Frieza became an apprentice of God of Destruction. Several warriors wanted to replace you while you were away." But that is beside the point. From what I can see, there are very complicated things going on here. In fact, if we're going to take Mr. Goku seriously, who decided to get angry with all the gods and little by little ending God by God of destruction one by one, what do you think will happen? Your brother Champa, the god of destruction Liquid, and also Vermoth have also been erased for their entire existence in accordance with the God Killer skills of Mr. Goku. An enraged Beerus says, "What? What do you mean? How dare you? Who does he think he is to be able to do that to Hakaishin? I would never accept Goku doing that. That miserable. How dare you, Goku? This is all your fault, Whis! I said it was a mistake to train mortals who dare to challenge a god. This should never have happened. Let's fix it. The gods of destruction are here to bring balance, and how dare ye want to attack one by one? Goku, if you had come to face me, I myself would have ended your entire Son Goku existence. It's enough for me. I myself will fight them." At that moment, Whis says, "Mr. Beerus, please calm down." Well, maybe Goku has exact reasons for wanting to do something. If you'd stop to think about it, there are many things that end up happening within all these universe, and on the one hand, I'm used to having you by my side during all these times. I wouldn't like it either if we were defeated too. But it seems that some changes ended up happening. Zeno-sama ended up thinking a totally different way. So I believe that the real solution is to show Zeno-sama and also God Killer Goku that their decisions are wrong. They think the gods of destruction just bring balance. But maybe it would be good if we showed them that the real reason why the gods of destruction exist. They need to know the real universal imbalance. Beerus starts to watch and says, "What do you mean by that, Whis?" At this point, Whis says, "Do you remember that millennia ago there were some supreme celestial gods and what they did last time with everyone?" Beerus responds seriously, "You're saying that we should free the portal of the celestial ancient gods, so that everything is shown to them the real chaos?" Whis smiles and says, "There's something you might not know, Mr. Beerus. I'm talking about King Zara's. King Zara's, the ultimate Saiyan who was once the god of darkness out of control. He could still bring the gods of time and space to one side. The powers of these two gods combined were said to cause the essence of great warrior to be brought forth. This warrior, for some reason, perhaps due to his lack of responsibility and personality, couldn't do much and had thoughts just like those of a child. I'm talking about Zeno-sama. That would be the essence of the gods of time and space. Unleash the power of the two, bring them back, and so they could see the importance of the gods of destruction to bring balance to the planet so that Zeno-sama doesn't end up losing his control. It's a very simple way. They're sealed in a parallel universe accordingly. All you would have to do is to break the seal. Let him start by trying to annihilate these gods. That is, if he can." Beerus watches everything and says, "But if that ends up happening, what will happen if they eliminate Goku?" Whis watches and speaks. "This will have to be what Zeno-sama will do. Or will you want all the other gods of destruction eliminated since Zeno-sama himself authorized the elimination of you?" Beerus starts to laugh and says, "Ha! I mean, then it's a risky thing that's going to happen. Alright, so let's start, Whis. That would be madness. The release of the two supreme gods who made the creation of Xenosama. Let's do this. Universe 6. Beerus the Destroyer had finally arrived on the battlefield. Beerus was at Whis' side after Whis spoke about all the events that occurred on Earth. Beerus understood that Whis was on the side of the Z fighters, while threats from the Makai realm had appeared. But Whis says, Mr. Beerus, I didn't quite understand when Mr. Goku returned to Mr. Vegeta's side directly from the Makai Kingdom and said that he would end the gods of destruction. In fact, I don't know what happened in the Makai Kingdom, but Lord Goku has returned in a totally different form. I don't know if it was the battles that took place or what ended up happening, but it seems that Lord Goku is not the same as before. So once Xenosama is at his side, it looks like that a brief war is about to break out. But some things will have to be changed. That is, if you and the other gods of destruction want to stay alive, because there are still many things that could happen in a completely different way. What do you have to say to me, Mr. Beerus? Beerus watches and speaks. I don't think I have much of a choice. Let's go to Zuno, the one who knows everything. If we think about gathering the Super Dragon Balls, it will take a lot of time over all things. I think we better resolve the situation as soon as possible, Whis. Goku performed his training alongside Margarita and Vados. Goku says, well, I'm sure the other gods of destruction are unleashing their powers more and more. It's not just because I defeated Liquid, Champa, and Vermort that I could defeat the other gods of destruction with ease. If I'm not mistaken, Kitela, the god of destruction from Universe 4, has powers similar to those of Beerus and the other gods of destruction. We don't know his abilities either. I learned that even the gods of destruction from Universe 3 is extremely powerful. So we have to be much more careful. Yet the gods of destruction may be wanting to accomplish something through it. Vados looks on and says, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Champa couldn't even use his Akai form against you, Mr. Goku. He didn't believe in the power of his God-killer form. So if we think about it and analyze this whole situation, it may be that there is a great skill and great powers of enemies that can get even stronger. We need to pay close attention because the gods of destruction are not stupid, and they will definitely think of something to want to attack you. As long as Xenosama does not interfere in the battle, everything's fine. But Xenosama and Daishi-kun are relying on you so that you could resolve this whole situation. Come on, don't let them down. Goku begins to fight Vados, trying to increase his power more and more. Goku says, the power of the gods of destruction are fine, but the skills that are mentioned, and they are extremely incredible. I cannot understand all this level of power. It seems that he can end everything at any time he wants. The level of angels are really amazing. It means then that even using the mastery of Ultra Instinct, the angels manage to perform extremely high powers. So this force that is capable of anyone. I still want to be as strong as you, Miss Vados. I'm sure Mr. Whis is pretty powerful too. Margarita observes and speaks. That's because you haven't seen the strength of Universe 11, Angel. I'm extremely powerful too. Maybe even more powerful than the two dear little brothers. Am I? Vados starts laughing and says, never, dear sister, not even with your trickery. I also possess a very high skill, and I will show you what I'm capable of. At that moment, Goku begins to feel a great pressure of energy. Goku says, looks like something weird is about to happen here. Wait, I feel a great power coming here. I feel the energy of Mr. Beerus. Damn it! Is he back from the Makai realm already? Vados observes and says, I think you better not try to do anything because we're with you here. Whis is definitely watching everything that's been going on. Whis is very smart and he is very loyal to Mr. Beerus. The Destroyer has returned from the Makai Kingdom. Surely he has some ideology about all this. We need to really think about the things that are going to happen. If I were you, I would try to be careful, Mr. Goku.
a god of destruction and an angel from Universe 7. Perhaps they are the most powerful beings of all this threat that you believe is taking place.
Goku watches and says, I'm not afraid that it's Mr. Beerus. Although I've already been defeated several times by him, I'm sure that now with the God Killer powers, I have enough energy to defeat him. I will be able to show my true potential and my true abilities. After all, I am Goku, the Saiyan of Universe 7, son of Bardock. Vado starts to smile and says,
Well done, Mr. Goku. That's how you say it. I'm proud and I want to see how far you'll be able to push your powers.
At that moment, many things begin to happen in a somewhat different way. Directly in Universe 6 in the Palace of Zuno, the one who knows everything. Beerus says, Zuno, I need you to answer some questions. Zuno says,
I can only answer your question if you guess what goes into the puzzle that I'm going to give you.
Beerus starts looking at him with a serious look and says, I don't have time for puzzles. Zuno responds, Well, if you don't answer my puzzles, I won't reveal the whole truth to you. So you have two choices. One,
or answer. If you don't answer, you won't know the truth.
At that moment, Beerus angrily says, I know you are a supreme being from this world, but please excuse me, because I don't have time for these jokes. At that moment, Beerus points his hand in front of Zuno, energizing a gigantic Hakai. Zuno says,
all right. I'll give you the answer to whatever question you want, but please don't do anything here with me.
Whis says,
It seems that Mr. Beerus is quite angry with the situation, since he wants to end everything and doesn't care that he's talking to a celestial being.
At this point, Beerus says, I need to know the true location of the Supreme Saiyan Zana, and also where he left sealed bodies of the two Supreme Gods of Time and Space. Zuno observes and responds, I am where I am not, and where I am not. No matter how much time passes, I will still remain the same. At this point, Whis says,
Still, even though Beerus points a Hakai at him, he's trying to make some pun.
Beerus is enraged and says, Stop it and quickly answer me! Otherwise I will use a Hakai on you! Again it is spoken. I am where I'm not, and where I am, I'm not. I'm the one who doesn't know anything, but at the same time, I know everything. I'm the one who does what he thinks has to be done, or ends up doing nothing. Who am I, and where I am? Beerus starts to get more and more confused and says, It doesn't matter! Enough is enough! I'll finish you off! At this point, Whis starts laughing and says,
Oh, that makes so much sense, Mr. Beerus. Don't. I already know where they are.
To be continued. What's going on? What do you mean Whis managed to solve Zuno's riddle? After all, where is the location of the Supreme God Saiyan Zana and the bodies of the Supreme God of Space and Time? Regardless of what it is more than important that you arrive here, exposing it in your comments so that we can enter into that crazy debate. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe here to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.